You have reached Red Steele's Awesome Toy Collector Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing from Transformers Legacy Evolution, Thundercracker. Transformers Legacy Evolution Thundercracker. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, Tubal Spoiler will show you both the figure and all his accessories inside. On the top flap here, you have Thundercracker in his jet mode, and next to that, you have the Takara Tomy Transformers Generation logo. On top of the packaging here, you have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo. On the front of the packaging, in the very corner here, you have an 8+, which is the age requirement for this figure. And along the side here, it says Transformers. Down here again, you have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo, and below that you have Thundercracker, and next to that you have the Hasbro emblem. On the other side of the packaging here, you have this beautiful illustration of Thundercracker in his robot mode. On the other side of the packaging here, you have this beautiful montage of all the Transformers in Transformers Legacy Evolution, starting with Armada Optimus Prime. Below that you have Tarn. In the corner here you have the Nemesis spaceship. Below that you have Laser Optimus Prime. Down here you have Hotshot. Then over here, you have a bunch of Insecticons battling a bunch of Junkyard. Below that, you have the Transformers Authentic logo. And the very bottom here, again, you have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo. On the back of the packaging here, top here it says Thundercracker. In the middle here, you have all the figures features, such as Thundercracker in his jet mode, Thundercracker in his robot mode. In the very corner here, you have the Hasbro emblem. Transformers Legacy Evolution Core Class Thundercracker. Thundercracker was released June 1st, 2023 with the suggested retail price of $9.99, and he was available at all major retailers. Thundercracker was released along with the other Transformers Legacy Evolution Core Class Wave 2 figures, Bombburst, Grimlock, and Nemesis Prime. Thundercracker is a Generation 1 inspired figure that converts to his jet mode in 17 steps. His accessories include 2 null rays and instructions. Thundercracker stands 3.5 inches tall, and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Thundercracker from his robot mode all the way to his jet mode. In the first step of that transformation, you have this chest panel right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. With this first chest panel right here, you want to flip it back just like that. The second chest panel, you want to include this chest piece right here that kind of looks like the nose cone. You want to flip that back just like that. So step number 2, you have Thundercracker's head right here, and below that you have that blue piece. On the bottom you have a hinge joint. You want to take this head piece now, you want to flip it down just like that. So step number 3, on Thundercracker's back right here, you have this nose cone. You want to flip this nose cone slightly up just like that. So step number 4, these silver shoulder pylons right there and right there. You want to bring those slightly down also just like that, because what you're actually doing is you're creating some clearance from this whole back assembly right here. I'm not sure you can see it yet. Because also in step number 5, you can create some more clearance by bringing the legs down just like that and just like that. This step number 6, with this whole back assembly now, you want to rotate it around just like that. You created just enough clearance to do that. Because step number 7, you have Thundercracker's legs right there and right there. On the inside you have a peg and a porthole. Then once you go ahead and take those legs and peg them together just like that. This is step number 8. You have this whole leg assembly now. You have this whole back assembly. A couple tabs right there. You have a couple portholes right here and right here. You want to bring that whole piece down just like that. Step number 9. You want to take Thundercracker. You have his nose cone right here. You want to take the nose cone, you want to straighten it out just like that. And step number 10, this first assembly right here, you want to push it right into the jet just like that. We'll take Thundercracker's head right here. We'll rotate it all the way around so the face is forward just like that. And step number 12, take Thundercracker's head now. You want to push it right into the cockpit just like that. So step number 13, You have these wing assemblies right there and right there. You have a hinge strut right there and right there. You also have the chest panel right there and right there. You want to bring everything down so the chest panel and the wings both come down just like that. You want to do it to the other side. And that chest panel in, but you want to bring that wing down just like that. Because step number 14, you got these forearms right here. And inside these forearms, you have a tab right there and right there. You're going to rotate these forearms so the tab is facing up into the wing just like that. Do that to the other side, to that forearm piece now, and rotate it so that tab is facing up just like that. So step number 15, you want to take those tabs now and you want to put them right into the wing. And it's a little tricky, but you have to have everything kind of right into place to have that work out. And the forearms are angled in a little bit when you bring them into place just like that. And they should tab right into place just like that. So step number 16, you have these tail fins right there and right there. You want to go ahead and rotate them so they come up and tab right into place just like that. Do that to the other side. Take that tail fin, rotate it all the way around. As you can see, there's a little tab right there, little porthole right there. You want to bring it down just like that. This is the 17th and final step. You have this blue fin right there and right there. The hinge nut right there and right there. These pieces, you want to flip them down just like that. Do that to the other side, take that tail fin, flip it down just like that. And now you have Thundercracker in this full jet mode. Now that I have Thundercracker in his jet mode and on my display table, so I'm going to go over some of his play features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his null rays. And I have to say, Takara Hasbro really has impressed me with this version of Thundercracker, or any of the Seekers in the core class version, because they've figured out a way to engineer the null rays so they can remain on Thundercracker's shoulders while he's transforming into his jet mode. Because normally with the Seekers, the null rays do plug into the shoulders on robot mode, but you do have to unarm them and you have to transform them and you plug them into the wings. Well, they figured out that a way to transform him where you do not have to remove the null rays, which is really, really cool. Like, I mean, if you want to have this a permanent part of Thundercracker, you can choose to do so, and it wouldn't affect the transformation in one way or another. Very, very nicely done. And I have to say, for a core class figure, this version of Thundercracker lost nothing in translation. I mean, he's very detailed. He is a F-15 fighter jet, just nicely detailed. The one thing that I do have a problem with is the engineering with the cone, which I'll get more into the robot mode, because this is, I want to say this is an improvement even with the transformation from the Earthrise version of Thundercracker, which was a 2-pack exclusive with him and Skywar. But the transformation, they kind of kept the basic transformation with all the Seekers, but it seems like every generation they've improved upon it, and I think this core class transformation is much better than the deluxe version from Earthrise. Very, very nicely done, nicely detailed. I mean, there's not much to it. It's very, very small in scale. And these core class figures are fantastic. I mean, from top to bottom, with Optimus Prime, the Seekers, Megatron, Soundwave. I mean, if you do see these core class figures, they're very underrated, and I would highly suggest picking them up. But I'm going to rotate Thundercracker so you can see what he looks like from all angles. A beautifully done figure, and I highly recommend, you know, if you do see a core class figure, don't pass them up. They're they're like a small hidden treasure. Now that Thundercracker in his robot mode and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of the display features and accessories. First of all, I talk about his null rays. And as I mentioned earlier on, I really dig the way that Takara figured out a way to engineer Thundercracker's transformation so that his null rays can remain on his shoulders. There's no unarming him and storing the weapons or plugging into the wings like you do in the other versions of Thundercracker. It does remain on his shoulders, which is really, really nice. And I feel the transformation improved slightly because they did that thing with instead of having this flip out, they have the entire nose cone, and they kind of concealed it a little bit better, because the one thing that I noticed that Takara and Hasbro have had challenges with is concealing this nose cone in all versions of Thundercracker, ranging from the Masterpiece to the Earthrise. And I hope eventually they'll figure out a way to conceal it. Because, I mean, this piece right here is just a panel right here, part of this panel, this chest panel, so it plays no factor in the transformation of Thundercracker. So the nose cone right here is actually the nose cone, and this is just a piece to make him kind of look like or resemble what he does in the cartoon series. I mean, his scale is nice. I mean, his proportions are nice, and a lot of great molding detail, a lot of great detail in this figure for a core class figure. And I'm really impressed with what Hasbro and Takara have been doing with these core class figures. And they scale nicely with the Titan figures because, I mean, Metroplex, and you got, you know, these scale figures where you can put them around Metroplex. It's really, really cool. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Earthrise Thundercracker to do a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit just so they can both fit in the frame. But as you can see, Earthrise Thundercracker's, you know, a pretty cool figure. Very nicely done. And that, like I said, that whole kibble with this whole nose cone bothers me a little bit. And the transformation with Thundercracker, this chest piece does get utilized in transformation because this piece flips out. So I mean, the transformation for the like Legends and for the Earthrise version of Thundercracker, a little bit more involved. And I think he's a little bit bulkier. I do feel that cosmetically, the core class figure for Thundercracker is much nicer. And if they could blow up this scale and bring it out in deluxe, I'd be pretty impressed. It's a nice figure. I mean, I don't like the ball socket joint right there because the forearm does pop out a lot when you try to transform him in jet mode or you try to, you know, bend his elbow for articulation. My arm does pop out a lot. But other than that, it's a great improvement in engineering between the core class and the deluxe class from Earthrise. I know this version of Thundercracker is probably about 4 years old now, and he is to me, he's kind of like a retooling of the Legends class, which is kind of a smaller in scale. I don't have my Legend class Thundercracker on hand to do a side-by-side comparison, but the transformations are almost identical. They just kind of upscaled them a little bit to fit with the other Earthrise Decepticons and Autobots, which they kind of wanted to keep it more in correlation with each other, and that's why they upscaled his size a little bit.